Did you know that every 10 seconds, someone in the world is diagnosed with diabetes? This is a worrying number, isn't it? If you or a loved one is facing this condition, you are likely looking for solutions to improve your health. Don't worry, you're not alone. In this video, Barbara O'Neill will share tips that help you control blood sugar naturally, prevent dangerous complications, and boost energy. Are you curious about which foods can help you effectively lower blood sugar? Let's explore together. Discover the new oil that can help control diabetes, which doctors have never revealed.
Hippocrates, the father of medicine, 400 years BC, no mention of diabetes in his writings. So diabetes is a fairly modern disease. Diabetes is a lifestyle disease. Newton's third law of motion states that to every action there's an equal and an opposite reaction. Why isn't the pancreas working? That's what we should be asking. There is a reason why pancreases are not working. Now, the pancreas, one of its main roles is to release two hormones. One is insulin, that gets the blood sugar down. The other hormone is glucagon, and that gets the blood sugar level up. Now, the meal that you had tonight, because it's high in fibre, I think everything had fibre, generous proteins, there's your legumes and some great fats, it gives a slow, sure, steady release of glucose, of nutrients. And that allows the pancreas to just release the insulin as it's needed. That's what every cell in the body wants, and that's what our pancreas wants. But what's happening today is people predominantly are eating a high carbohydrate diet. And this high carbohydrate diet releases a lot of glucose. And that glucose, when it gets into the blood, especially the refined sugar, and by the way, the refined grains, it's almost as high as sugar. But there is one grain that gets the blood sugar levels higher than refined sugar. Is that a surprise? And the grain that does that is what? Bread and cereal and pasta and cakes, etc., and pizza are all made out of predominantly one grain. What's that one grain? It's wheat. Now, in the 1950s, wheat went through intensive crossbreeding. And the reason they put it through intensive crossbreeding is they wanted to create a plant with a high yield of grain, so that would help with the starvation crisis in Africa, in Mexico, in India. And eventually, Dr. Norman Boullag got a Nobel Prize for his hybridized wheat. At first, the stalk broke before the grain was fully ripe, because wheat used to grow that high. Do you remember that? We had a 25-year-old wheat farmer come to our retreat. He'd never heard of such a thing. He didn't know that wheat used to grow that high. And so they went back to the drawing board and they came up with a wheat that only grows this high. I was in Holland, probably a month ago now, and we're driving along, it's very, very flat, and I saw big fields of sandy-coloured grass. I said, what is it? It's everywhere. They said it's wheat. It was only that high. So it had only to be that high with a thick stem, because some wheats are producing 8 to 10 times the grain that they originally. So in the 1970s, the wheat started to go worldwide. So by the 1990s, every bread, cereal, pasta, cake, etc., pizza, all made out of this hybridized wheat. It was rushed through with no safety studies. They didn't think they had to do safety studies on wheat. It was rushed through with no safety studies. It sounds like the COVID vaccine, doesn't it?
Now, let's consider the glycemic index, a very important factor for diabetic patients. The glycemic index, GI, measures the speed at which glucose from food is released into the blood. The basic GI is 55. For example, berries have a GI of around 26. Grapefruit has a GI of 25, making them great choices for diabetic patients because they release glucose slowly and steadily. On the other hand, bananas have a higher GI, and sugar has a GI of 59. Foods like white bread, white pasta, and white cereals have a GI around 69 because they contain a amylopectin. So, what about whole wheat? Whole wheat bread and whole grains have a GI of 72. Although they are unrefined products, they contain more amylopectin, which raises blood sugar levels. However, whole wheat bread is still better than white bread because it contains more fiber and vitamin B. But for diabetics, those who need to control blood sugar, completely removing wheat might be a necessary measure.
I had one lady start to cry when she saw this. I said, "Why are you crying?" She said, "I'm a diabetic. I'm type 2 diabetic." She said, "I was diagnosed 2 years ago. I do everything they tell me. I eat wholemeal bread, wholemeal pasta, wholemeal cereal." And she said, "And every 6 months I go to the doctor and he puts me on more insulin." She said, "I'm not like the lady down the road. She just eats cakes and candies, but I don't do that." She said, "I'm crying because I've been so frustrated, but I have not known what to do." So why aren't the nutritionists told this? How much wheat does America grow? Acres of it. How much wheat does Australia grow? A lot. So it's big industry. So it's not an easy thing to change. And the farmers love the hybridized wheat. They've got to pay their bills. 10 times more grain per acre, that's 10 times more dollars per acre. So you see the problem. So no wonder diabetes has skyrocketed. It's not just the sugar, it's also the wheat. So to conquer diabetes, what do? To conquer diabetes, go for the low glycemic index foods. It's not easy. It's easy. I meant to say it's not hard to get a glycemic index. You can Google it. It's a matter of having berries for breakfast instead of banana. It's as simple as having sweet potato instead of potato. Low GI foods. Number 2, daily legumes. I met a man, he was a scientist, he was 69. He came to our retreat. He said, "When I was 42, I was told I had pre-diabetes and to eat legumes every day." He said, I eat legumes every day and I never got diabetes. Because the beans give that lovely, sure, steady delivery of fuel. But how do we stop them causing bloating or wind? You soak them overnight. And then you rinse them very well, and then you bring them to the boil. Have you seen all the froth that comes on? You know what that is? Wind. You got to rinse it away. What I do is when my beans are 3/4 cooked, I rinse them again. And then I put my beans into a delicious sauce. They'll be a lot easier to digest. When I first married my husband 24 years ago, he could handle lima beans, he could handle red lentils, he could not handle brown lentils, and he could not handle kidney beans. Are only 1/3 the carbohydrate that you will find in your grains. Number 3, there are some things that must stop. What must stop is wheat. What must stop is refined sugar. If someone's looking at conquering diabetes, initially they also need to eliminate all your healthy sugars, like your palm sugar, your maple syrup and honey. So they need to be stopped until the pancreas is starting to recover. And it can recover. One young man named Dan did our program. He was type 1 diabetes. He got diabetes after a strong course of antibiotics at the age of 15. He's now 19. He said, my specialist said my pancreas is dead. I said, if there is blood going through your pancreas, it's not dead. The life of the flesh is in the blood. No refined sugar and no caffeine. Caffeine can actually get an insulin response, so that has to be stopped. When he came to our retreat, he ate only low glycemic foods. He had legumes every meal. He started to drink more water. Hydration. And what he found was if he felt that he was getting a blood sugar level low between meals, he'd have a little bit of the salt and a glass of water and it would maintain him. I do not advise diabetics eat every 2 hours because that really disrupts digestion. When we looked at the journey through the gut, did you notice that digestion averages 3.5 to 4 hours? So you've got to leave that break between meals.
To control diabetes, changing your diet is very important. One effective way is to increase fiber intake through fiber-rich foods like vegetables, beans, and whole grains. These foods help slow down the digestion process, prevent blood sugar spikes, and support weight control, which is essential in managing the disease. Vegetables like leafy greens, broccoli, and cauliflower are great choices because they are low in calories and rich in essential nutrients. Whole grains like quinoa, brown rice, and oats are better choices than processed cereals because they release sugar into the blood slowly. Besides fiber, healthy fats are also important in a diabetic diet. Foods rich in monounsaturated fats like nut butters and olive oil can improve insulin sensitivity and help control blood sugar. Thus, olive oil can help control weight by providing healthy fats. A diet rich in monounsaturated fats can help you feel fuller for longer, reduce hunger, and thus maintain a healthy weight. Weight control is crucial in preventing type 2 diabetes because being overweight is a major risk factor. Finally, eliminating processed and sugary foods not only helps reduce the risk of diabetes but also improves overall health. Instead of consuming these foods, choose fresh, whole, unprocessed foods to ensure that blood sugar is released steadily and maintain sustainable energy levels throughout the day. This will help you better control your blood sugar and reduce the risk of diabetes.
Diabetes, they usually start with insulin resistance. You've heard of insulin resistance. What happens with insulin resistance? The person's, say, on a high carbohydrate diet, a lot of wheat, blood glucose levels are going high, pancreas gets screamed at. You see, high glucose demands high insulin. So when blood glucose levels are high, the pancreas is getting screamed at, quick, insulin, more insulin. So it releases a lot of insulin, too much insulin actually. So what happens now? Goes too low. So down there, the brain says to the pancreas, stop the insulin, release the glucagon. What does that do? Whoa, up it goes again. Now too high. Stop the glucagon, release the insulin. Oh no, stop the... Can you see what's happening? The pancreas is just wearing out. I'm against child abuse, I'm against animal abuse, and I'm against pancreatic abuse. But many, that'd be like someone kicking their dog, not realising it's hurting the dog. But it's actually not that clear because we can't even see the pancreas. We don't know what's going on in there.
At the same time, avoiding excess calorie intake is crucial, as excess calories can lead to weight gain and insulin resistance. Eating smaller, more frequent meals throughout the day can help maintain blood sugar stability and prevent overeating during large meals. Managing stress is also an important factor in preventing diabetes. Chronic stress can increase cortisol levels, a hormone that raises blood sugar. Relaxation techniques like deep breathing, yoga, or meditation can help reduce stress and improve overall health. Sleep is also an essential factor in regulating blood sugar. Not getting enough sleep can impair insulin function and increase blood sugar levels. Poor quality sleep makes it harder for the body to maintain stability in regulating blood sugar levels. The goal is to sleep 7 to 9 hours each night to allow the body time to recover, reduce stress, and maintain better insulin function. Additionally, some lifestyle changes and herbal medications can provide benefits in preventing diabetes. Cinnamon is one of the prominent herbs in blood sugar control. It has been shown to improve insulin sensitivity and reduce blood sugar levels. Bitter melon is another herb that has traditionally been used to regulate blood sugar. It contains compounds similar to insulin that help the body lower blood sugar. Turmeric, with its anti-inflammatory properties, may also play a role in diabetes prevention. Curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, has been shown to improve insulin sensitivity and reduce inflammation, both of which are important in prevention. Aloe vera is another plant with potential in improving blood sugar control. It may help reduce fasting blood sugar levels and improve insulin resistance. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you found the information about managing and possibly reversing diabetes helpful. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to receive more health tips. See you in the next video.